stroll through Karen's memory lane is littered with bug and fish bliss. I'm Dave Allgood, and that's...
It's just being outside, enjoying my life.
And keeping up with the Pat isn't Jenkins' only hobby.
She also hand makes fleece blankets for cancer patients getting chemotherapy. Oh, that's so special. She makes the most of her time.
I know, so talented.
Yeah, definitely.
And coming up on Good Morning Northwest, a fire along I-82 near Prosser yesterday had multiple agencies racing to fight it. We have the latest.
A family in Pasco's home recently went up in flames, leaving them with nothing. We hear from the family on what happened and how they plan to move forward.
The Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation holding a domestic violence summit. We have a look at some of the resources available.
Yesterday was the hottest day of the year. We might run that back for today. I'll tell you just how hot we could be for this Wednesday coming up right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Wednesday, July 10th. I am not looking forward to those hot temperatures.
How hot do you think it's going to be today?
Well,
let's take a guess.
Well, I mean, Josh kind of gave us a hint by saying that we're going to see
triple digits,
something similar to yesterday.
Maybe?
Oh, definitely.
I'm going to guess
digits.
101.
I think it's going to be hotter, but let's ask Josh.
Okay, Josh, how's it going to be?
101, you inverted a couple of those numbers. 110. It's going to be up around 110 again in the Tri-Cities, unfortunately, yeah. Now for this morning, it's feeling pretty good out there, but very warm for this time of the year and for this time of the morning. Look at this, already 80 in Walla Walla. It's 6 o'clock. And it's 80 degrees in Walla Walla. 60s and 70s for the Kittitas and Yakima Valley, 60s and 70s also for the Lower Columbia Basin, and then 60s, 70s, and 80s for the foothills of the Blues. A little bit later today, there it is, 110 for the Tri-Cities, 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. And so unfortunately, I'm going to show this graphic again to really underscore the point of the danger for today. As in the U.S. over the past 30 years, heat has been the leading killer in terms of weather phenomenon, and it beats every other phenomenon by at least a 2-to-1 metric. So very dangerous stuff. If you're going to be outside for today, if you're going to walk the pets, try to do that earlier in the morning. Of course, supply plenty of water to the kids and try to find shade and drink your own water if you're going to be working outside for today, and check on all those vulnerable populations, but especially the elderly.
Thank you, Josh. And we start in fire news. Now, we know there were a number of serious house fires around the 4th of July.
One of the families impacted was featured on Apple Valley News Now last week for their fireworks stand. And we hear more from the Lopez family, who tell us how they're planning on moving forward despite the circumstances that they were dealt.
Fire crews from several agencies were called to Melody Lane in the Pasco area around midnight, just as July 5th was starting. When firefighters got to the scene, they found a home on fire with flames coming from the attic. Luckily, no one was home. It took a little more than 2 hours to get the fire under control.
And at first I thought it was a joke, like, can't be. And they said, no, your house looks like this with this type of door. Yep, that's us. We'll be there.
So the Lopez family operates the fireworks stand on Edison and Clearwater in Kennewick. They do this every year to raise money for their church, Faith Center International. How do you move forward from this?
I mean, just to consider all the factors as far as, being safe and, making sure you have a fire extinguisher near you on hand.
The family of 5 lost everything. They're now staying with family members in Prosser. When we first spoke with them before the 4th, they told me that fireworks safety is imperative. We even talked about the hotshot device they sell, which is a safer way to light the firecrackers.
We're going to continue to move forward. The fireworks stand didn't cause this, and we serve our community. We love what we do. And, and the youth, they enjoy working this. It's a form of fundraising for their youth group.
The couple's 18-year-old daughter, Jenna Lee, will be attending Wazoo in Pullman in the fall. Her enrollment papers are now due, so they are scrambling.
I did. So actually today, before coming here, I was running around everywhere trying to get everything done, trying to get all my paperwork ready. And Thank God I did.
As for selling their legal and safe fireworks again next year, this won't stop them.
Even though we didn't have anything, this is what's more important here, right? Nobody was at home when it happened. We're all safe. That's what matters. All the stuff that got lost is material things. Years and years of hard work and stuff that we've gathered, gone in hours.
Now, the Lopez family has a GoFundMe page, and if you would like to donate, you can visit our website.
As for the cause of the fire, it's still unknown. And as Josh has been reminding us all week, the fire danger is extremely high right now. So take a look at this. Firefighters from multiple agencies raced to help deal with this fire along I-82 near Prosser yesterday afternoon.
The fire was first reported around 1:30, and our crews saw air support flying in a couple of hours later. State Patrol did have to close down part of the interstate from time to time because of smoke and to give firefighters room to work. The Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation's Family Violence Services will hold a tribal, state, and federal summit focusing on domestic violence.
That's underway now at the Wild Horse Resort and Casino. It's set to continue through Thursday. Riley Fitzgerald has a look at some of the resources that are available.
It's a 3-day event here at Wild Horse Resort and Casino, walking through various aspects of addressing intimate partner violence. That started yesterday. This year's summit follows the 2022 Violence Against Women Act renewal, which expanded tribal courts' criminal jurisdiction to cover non-native suspects of sexual assault, child abuse, stalking, and sex trafficking. I talked with Desiree Coyote about how this recent legislation is impacting tribal nations in our area and about what's next.
Oftentimes, when systems step in for domestic violence or sexual assault, they take care of it right then and there, and then they're gone. But for the victims and the families impacted by the violence, it's a lifelong process. So sometimes the way that the policies or laws are written, it does more harm than good to those who are entangled with the systems.
The push for change started in 2010, when tribal nations were given the ability to prosecute non-natives who committed domestic violence on tribal lands. In 2022, that was extended to include sexual assault crimes, child abuse, and property damage. While that change is important, Coyote says this summit at Wild Horse is meant to bring the systems forward to understand why these laws are important and how to incorporate them in a way to benefit the people. She says right now, the language in the laws can sometimes hurt more than help.
But when you take a look at where our children are, Indigenous children are, and the number of them that are in the juvenile system or jails or trafficked, and many of them are because the system removes them from home.
She says they're trying to make changes happen now, not in the future.
We've made those changes at the state level. Now working with Oregon Department of Human Services in regards to child welfare, I want to say the last 5 years, in how they work with families who are impacted by domestic violence and children. So still more work to do there.
The event continues today and tomorrow, expanding on those topics. It is free to anyone. Reporting in Pendleton, I'm Riley Fitzgerald with Good Morning Northwest.
Thank you, Riley. And straight ahead, the city of Ellensburg is working on an overnight shelter for people experiencing homelessness, but it has faced some criticism.
We have an update on the progress they're making. Emily Goodell with that report when we come back.
Something is weird. Look around. All possible Triple Play customers are perfectly represented right now.
Wait, really?
There's the family, the group of adult friends, kids on their school trip,
and the first date couple, and the grandparents with their grandkids.
It's just too perfect. I knew it. They're shooting a commercial.
I thought we were better than that.
Triple Play has fun attractions for everyone, including go-karts, mini golf, and many more, all attached to a cozy hotel.
We just thought...
If it's hidden, you might get bitten.
Our new orthopedic regenerative medicine clinic with Prosser Memorial Health orthopedic surgeon Dr. Jeffrey B. Higgs is now offering a variety of treatments, including platelet-rich plasma injections to enhance injury recovery, promote healing, and treat pain associated with early osteoarthritis. To schedule an appointment, call Prosser Orthopedic Center at 509-786-5599 or learn more at prosserhealth.org. This is how we care.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider. So switch to Spectrum and get a powerful network that connects nearly 500 million devices.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with free modem, no data caps, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee when you level up to a gig. Call 1-855-735-1336 or scan to call.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming with the most reliable internet speeds. Get a powerful network that millions of customers rely on. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with 99.9% network reliability, no added taxes or hidden fees, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee. Call 1-855-735-1336.
Call now.
Whether you're most at home surrounded by lots of friends, hanging with your one best friend for an afternoon cruise, or
No way. Not a chance. Could you show us something with a little less horsepower?
I was thinking the same thing.
at McCurley, we're here to help you find the vehicle that's right for you, because it's your way home.
Find your way home in a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle from McCurley Mazda.
Hello there. Watch live with Kelly and Mark.
Weekday mornings at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. The city of Ellensburg has been working on a plan to build an overnight shelter for people experiencing homelessness, but it's been facing some community pushback.
Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell tells us the city's plan for what they're calling a sleep center is delayed, but they're working on a stopgap solution for this winter. Take a look.
The Kittitas Valley Ministerial Association has operated a temporary seasonal overnight shelter in Ellensburg through the winter since 2015, rotating between local churches and housing 4 to 20 people a night. But it's a shelter they can no longer support.
But it's become really difficult for the churches to continue with that just because it's so largely reliant on volunteers.
The city working on a more permanent solution, an overnight sleep center made up of individual pallet shelters. Experts reviewing possible locations picked their top choice, a property on Ruby Street and the site of Hope Source's incoming Pathways Affordable Housing project.
They had some extra room and they thought they could put some wraparound services there, and it would be great.
The proposal received community pushback.
A couple local businesses, one's a daycare center nearby, so some folks that maybe had their children go there had some concerns about that.
So the city asked the public to suggest alternate locations for a short list to be discussed at a public meeting last month. Hope Source sent a letter to the city asking their site be removed from the list, saying, quote, while Hope Source believes that the Ruby Street site is likely the best of those sites in play, it is clear that site has become a flashpoint that is hindering the ability of the community to move forward and do the work of thoughtfully considering how to make the necessary sleep center a reality. 4 locations are still up for consideration, but
I think we're recognizing that it's not going to happen this winter, so we need to get something in place to fill that gap from the Ministerial Association not being able to do the cold weather shelter.
The city now teaming up with the county for a stopgap solution to run their own temporary cold weather shelter, a stationary one, open for 12 hours overnight between November and March.
We're just getting together and working on the RFP that will go out to find a contractor to provide the services. A location hasn't yet been identified. That's something that staff from city and county will work on, kind of looking at the market, what's available that could even work for this situation.
So that at least people have a safe place to go this winter. In Ellensburg, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
For now, city officials say they don't have a set timeline.
However, they are still looking at 4 possible locations for the permanent sleep center. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, it is so hot in Washington that washed-out workers had to repair a road that became damaged from the heat. Details on that coming up.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth has more on the heat in that first alert full forecast. Stay with us.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Everyone in this house is a liar.
I am the best liar.
My relative
Won an Oscar.
Emmy.
Trust nobody.
Oh my God!
Claim to Fame season premiere tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Break it down.
Join us Saturday, July 20th in historic downtown Prosser for the 20th annual Prosser Art Walk and Wine Gala. Sip award-winning wines and craft beer while strolling creations from artisans throughout the Pacific Northwest. Enjoy live music and a variety of food trucks for an evening not to be missed. Tickets are just $20 and on sale now at tourprosser.com/artwalk.
Save now with stock reduction savings in Bi-Mart's latest savings book, including $50 off an Avanti 5 cubic foot chest freezer. Bi-Mart, your employee-owned membership store.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I don't know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Apple Valley News Now, recently honored by the Society of Professional Journalists with first place awards for general excellence, breaking news, health reporting, and video series. We all like awards, but our mission is to serve you with news that gets results. We're Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Next ET, only we're with Kerry Washington, breaking scandal news.
When Tony Goldwyn tells me to do something, the answer is yes.
Plus, TV great Barbara Eden.
Next, ET.
Tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now. Operation Best Friend on Good Morning Northwest, sponsored by Windermere Group 1.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Right now you're taking a live, beautiful look at Pasco. This view coming courtesy of the Dust Devils. You can see a little bit of haze up in the sky for this morning. I'm thinking most of that's going to clear out as we head into the PM hours. The big story for today, of course, is going to be the heat. Already up into the 60s and 70s for the Kittitas Valley, into the 60s and 70s as well for the Lower Columbia Basin. Already 60s, 70s, and 80s for the foothills of the Blues. A little bit later today, we're going to return to values at about 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. Some more triple digits for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. We should be right back around 110 for a lot of the Lower Columbia Basin, including for the Tri-Cities, and then 90s and triple digits for the foothills of the Blues. The big difference with today as opposed to yesterday is that the winds will be very blustery, gusting out of the west and northwest between 20 to 45 miles per hour, some of the fastest wind gusts being in the Kittitas Valley. And that spells trouble because the fuels are very dry out that way. The fire fuel energy for today in terms of historical percentiles will be up into the 99th percentile. So fires could start and or spread very rapidly for today. And it's going to be the same thing for the Lower Columbia Basin. There will be that potential, and also for the Blue Mountains, as fuels will be pretty dry here as well. So we need everyone to be safe as it pertains to both heat and fire safety. And then for tonight, the winds are still going to be pretty blustery, still gusting between 20 to 40 miles per hour. The fastest wind gusts continue to be in the Kittitas Valley. Other than that, clear skies and overnight lows should be a little bit cooler compared to what we're seeing for this morning, with 60s across the map. Into tomorrow will finally be much cooler, but not necessarily cool, as we'll still be up into the triple digits for the Tri-Cities, and we're essentially going to hold serve at that level through Tuesday. So given that we're going to have this prolonged stretch of more hot weather, that means that our fuels are going to continue to be very dry. So we're going with a first alert extreme impact fire day, not just for today, also for Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And here's a look at some of the fire fuel energy metrics for tomorrow. Again, back up into the 99th percentile for the Kittitas and Yakima counties and valleys. And then for the lower Columbia Basin, the scale's also going to be maxed out, and it's also going to be maxed out for the Blue Mountains. So we're concerned about fire starts. We're also concerned specifically about lightning-induced fire starts for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, especially up in the Blue Mountains, given this little thunderstorm chance. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Cascades. Today's going to be our last day of being in the 80s. Then it's looking like it's going to be 70s for Thursday and beyond. For the Kittitas Valley, a very dangerous fire setup for today, especially with that combination of dry fuels and very windy conditions. For the Yakima Valley, we'll be near 105 for today and then around 100 from Thursday through Tuesday. For the lower Columbia Basin, looks like 7 more days of triple digits. And then for the foothills of the Blue Mountains, today will be the last day of triple digits, down into the 90s for Thursday through Tuesday. And then for the Blue Mountains, we'll be tracking that lightning potential and the potential for fire starts for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Thank you, Josh. And elaborating more on that heat, it's so hot in the state of Washington. The Washington State Department of Transportation says it had to repair a buckled road. And here's a look at the damage that washout workers fixed on Monday.
Now, this is in Skagit County on State Route 11, but it's not just the asphalt on top of that buckled, but also the concrete underneath. And other roads in the state have also buckled in this heat. And about 20 states are under heat alerts today. When we return on Good Morning Northwest, it is Wednesday, which means it's time to meet your new best friend.
Jill, you've already met me. Just kidding. We're talking about a local shelter pet that's looking for their forever home. When we come back, we meet Bart. Now, Bart only has 3 legs, but he has a lot of heart. We'll be right back.
Dishwasher on the fritz, laundry giving you fits, a water heater that quits. In a world without Culligan, hard water makes life harder. Get a Culligan softener, the world's best. Put your water worries to rest.
When it comes to your health, timing is everything. Health First Urgent Care is your reliable healthcare solution, locally owned and operated, providing care to our community. With locations in Pasco and Richland, we're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. No need to wait in long lines or rush to the ER for minor concerns. At Health First Urgent Care, we've got you covered with on-site x-rays and short wait times. Your health is our priority. Walk-ins are welcome. You can get the care you need when you need it. Health First Urgent Care, because your well-being comes first.
Tiffany Haddish, live on stage.
You ever been in a club in a cute little outfit? You like, I got this for $22. I'm gonna meet me $1 million man in my $22 dress. No, you're not.
Legends Casino Hotel Toppenish, Friday, September 13th.
You be in here dancing, feeling all good and stuff. You raise your arm up and you got a big old hole in your armpit.
Get tickets now at the Legends Gift Shop and Ticketmaster.com. Legends Casino, Friday, September 13th.
Invest in yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Let Quantum Legal protect you and be your champion on the legal battleground. Whether it's a fight for justice in the face of criminal accusations, personal injury claims, or workplace accidents, Quantum Legal is your unwavering ally. An aggressive offense is your greatest defense. Quantum Legal is the sword and shield you've been seeking. Your best defense, Quantum Legal.
Tiffany Smiley is not who she says she is.
Tiffany Smiley started a PAC claiming to raise money to support conservative candidates, but contributions were funneled to pay off her own $1 million campaign debt.
Of the almost $800,000 she raised, only $24,800 went to candidates. Instead, Tiffany used the money on luxury travel and to try to pay off her massive debt.
Tiffany Smiley deceived her donors. Don't let her deceive you.
I'm Dan Newhouse, and I approve this message.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps.
Welcome back. It's that time of the week again, Operation Best Friend time. That's when we introduce you to a pet in need of a permanent home.
And today we have a special dog to tell you about. Bart was injured as a young dog and one of his legs was amputated. But he's got a lot of heart and could be the perfect addition for the right family. Take a look.
All right, I'm Danielle. I am a volunteer with Mikey's Chance Canine Rescue, and this is Bart. He has been with us for a couple years, and he's going on, he'll be 3 in this September. And he's been with us for a while just because of his unique situation. So he's a tripod. He has 3 legs, and he had an injury when he was about 1 year old that required one of his hind legs to be amputated. And he needs to be the only pet in your house. So that just makes it a little bit more difficult for him to find his family, but he is an extremely loving and loyal dog. We think he's a black-mouth cur mix with some pit bull in there, and you can tell by his big block head and his wide shoulders. And I don't know that, I think his right type of family would be somebody that, or person, kind of a calm environment, children 8 years and older, just because kids at that age are, you know, more aware of their surroundings and more gentle and things like that, and can be more respectful of an animal. If he does go on walks, it just needs to be short little ones. He loves just laying in the yard and sunbathing as well. And he absolutely loves car rides. And whoever adopts Bart will get a $50 gift card from Paws Natural Pet Emporium, and they can use it there to buy Bart whatever he may need or love, like his soft toys and treats.
Bart seems very sweet. Hopefully he finds his forever home. Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, we are dealing with a lot of excessive heat, and a place you can cool off at is the library. We hear from the Associate Director with Mid-Columbia Libraries on why that could be a good option.
And the NATO summit opened yesterday with an announcement from President Biden, what he plans to supply Ukraine with. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Have you heard about refractive lens exchange? K2 Vision RLE means no glasses, no contacts, and no readers permanently. And you'll never develop a cataract.
No glasses or readers. K2 Vision RLE.
At McCurley, we're here to help you find the vehicle that's right for you. Whether you're most at home surrounded by lots of friends, hanging with your one best friend for an afternoon cruise, or
no way, not a chance. Could you show us something with a little less horsepower?
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing.
Because it's more than a vehicle, it's your way home.
Find your way home in a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle from McCurley Mazda.
It's the 44th anniversary sale at Walker's Furniture.
This is one of our favorite events where we get to celebrate these great years with you.
And that means friends and family pricing throughout the store, with savings up to 44% off. Or get no interest financing for up to 5 years. So you can get it today and pay over time.
From our family to yours, we'd like to thank you for 44 wonderful years.
Farming at any scale is often about using what you have at hand to get the job done. Life definitely gets a little easier and more enjoyable when you have the right tools. It's important to me to be a good and reliable farmer, and that means taking care of the environment too. I want to see the Valley continue to thrive and provide food long into the future. I just love what I do, and I wake up every day thankful to provide healthy, local food to my community.
Stop by today and feel the power of Pingree.
Choice Student Checking. Open yours today at any Yakima Federal Savings and Loan.
Stop thinking, let things happen, and be the ball. Better yet, see the ball with K2 Vision RLE. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
ET and Extra, tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
Extra, extra. Right now on Good Morning Northwest, a teen in Washington had to have his hand amputated after a fireworks injury. We hear from him this morning on what happened.
President Biden opened the NATO summit by announcing plans to supply new defenses to Ukraine. We have the details.
If you're looking for a place to cool off, the library is an option for you. We hear from the Associate Director with Mid-Columbia Libraries.
And speaking of the heat, we'll have more dangerous heat for today, but also the fire setup looking pretty dangerous. I'll tell you why coming up right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Wednesday, July 10th, and it is a hot one once again.
It's the 10th, and it's going to be 110 in Tri-Cities.
I'm not planning on going outdoors anytime soon, I'll tell you.
We're going to have to walk to our car and then walk to our home. You know, it's going to be hot and sweaty.
Hopefully it'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll need deodorant. We'll check on the forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Josh, what are we expecting this morning?
Yeah, we're expecting another hot day. We're expecting dangerous heat, dangerous fire conditions. But for the morning time, look at this, already 80 degrees in Walla Walla. We're in general in the 60s, 70s, and 80s for the foothills of the Blues, 60s and 70s for the lower Columbia Basin, and 60s and 70s for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. A little bit later today, like they said, 110 for July 10th, again in the Tri-Cities, so about 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. And also the winds will be much more blustery as opposed to yesterday, gusting between 20 to 45 miles per hour, so fires could start and or spread very rapidly, which is why we're going with the first alert. Extreme impact fire day for today. The winds are going to be especially blustery in the Kittitas Valley. So here's some tips to take to heart for today. Avoid tossing a burning cigarette on the ground. Do not park a hot vehicle in dry vegetation. Don't drag chains behind you, and gather that fire evacuation kit and that go bag together right now. And I'll show you some data to back up just how dry our fuels actually are. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Well, we have talked about how important it is to give yourself a break from the extreme heat we're seeing across the region this week. And one option is the library.
Mid-Columbia Libraries is offering a space for those who are looking for a place to cool down. The Associate Director with Mid-Columbia Libraries says anyone is allowed to go in and take a break from the heat at any time the libraries are open. He also says being able to provide this free resource to people in a time of need is what the library is all about.
I mean, that's what the library is. We offer resources to maybe people that don't have them, whether that's books, internet access, computer access technology, and even something as simple as cooling. I mean, you don't think about it till you're in the hottest days and you're experiencing a broken AC, or it's too hot to be anywhere else. And again, we're completely free. So while some other places you could go and cool down for a bit, they charge you to be there, and we don't.
And libraries will serve as cooling centers for the duration of the summer.
Each year, people are injured by fireworks on the 4th of July.
This morning, we're hearing from a Washington teen who had to have his hand amputated after a firework exploded while he was holding it. Julie Calhoun has the story.
I was one of those horror stories that I was always told about, like, hey, stay away from the fireworks, you're gonna blow your hand off. Quite literally, that exactly happened.
But Riley Baumgartner's story is different. He was at a family friend's 4th of July event where fireworks were being set off. Riley says someone there was intoxicated and threw a sparkler bomb.
When I seen them like light it and just toss it a few feet in front of them, I was instantaneously scared. I was like, as soon as this thing goes off, they're blind or dead.
But the scariest part, 2 young children ran toward it, and Riley jumped into action and grabbed the lit firework.
I went to go throw it, and as soon as I got about here, boom. And I was like, oh, whoa. And I looked down and there was just nothing there.
Medics rushed Riley to Harborview Medical Center. Surgeons had to amputate his damaged right hand. He also suffered burns on his body.
I ran out there and I just put myself in front of it because I'd rather it be me than anybody else.
After 5 days, Riley is now out of the hospital and just beginning his recovery.
Yeah, I know.
And the realization that his life is changed forever.
I just gotta do this at least 3 times a day, every day for 30 minutes.
Doctors say he can't work for 2 months.
I called my job. I'm a lifeguard. I'm not gonna be able to lifeguard anymore. I can't give someone CPR without a hand. I can't swim good without a hand.
The accident taking a physical and emotional toll.
I want to be able to take care of myself. I want to be able to stand up and not hurt. I want to be able to tie my pants and tie my shoes.
But there's one thing getting him through the pain.
Knowing that the kids are okay is really the only thing that's keeping me going.
New this morning, we have the dramatic video showing the rescue of an injured hiker on Oregon's Mount Hood.
Authorities say a 55-year-old hiker was critically injured after falling 700 feet down a frozen surface Saturday. A couple of off-duty military medics saw him fall and were able to reach him to help.
2 forest rangers also were in the area and provided first aid to the injured climber. A number of agencies worked together to get the man off of the mountain and to a hospital, including the State National Guard's 189th Aviation Regiment. At last check, the injured hiker from Arizona was listed in critical but stable condition.
And 9 dogs have arrived after being rescued from a New Jersey dogfighting operation in Oregon.
They arrived in Portland Monday on a charter flight from the nonprofit Wings of Rescue. The Pit Bull Terrier mixes were rehabilitated at a Humane Society facility.
Now the plan now is to get them into forever homes. They're set to go up for adoption next week, and the rescue dogs were a part of 14 that landed. Around the world now, famine has spread across the entire Gaza Strip, according to a statement by the United Nations. The recent deaths of more Palestinian children from hunger and malnutrition have led to this. In June, a deterioration in the humanitarian situation was reported after the launch of Israel's military operations in Rafah. The Rafah crossing, which is a crucial route for humanitarian aid to Gaza, has been closed since early May.
The UN says humanitarian aid workers continue to face risks while trying to distribute aid to Gaza. Majority of the humanitarian work in Gaza has been destroyed in Israel's conflict with Hamas. President Biden opened the NATO summit yesterday by announcing plans to supply new air defenses to Ukraine, including the Patriot systems.
The much-needed support will be provided by the U.S. and several other NATO allies and will help strengthen Kyiv against ongoing Russian aerial attacks. The announcement comes just 1 day after Ukrainian officials say at least 22 people were killed in Russian strikes, including one on the country's largest children's hospital.
Today, I'm announcing the historic donation of air defense equipment for Ukraine. The United States, Germany, the Netherlands, Romania, and Italy will provide Ukraine with the equipment for 5 additional strategic air defense systems. And in the coming months, the United States and our partners intend to provide Ukraine with dozens of additional tactical air defense systems. The United States will make sure that when we export critical air defense interceptors, Ukraine goes to the front of the line.
Biden spoke from the Mellon Auditorium, where the North Atlantic Treaty was signed in 1949, creating the military alliance. In his speech, Biden said NATO is, quote, stronger than it's ever been in history.
Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, each year we hear a tragic story of a child losing their life after being left in a hot car.
And oftentimes the parents it happens to never thought it would happen to them. Up next, we hear tips from an auto safety expert on how to prevent this type of tragedy from happening.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. At my law firm, we have a team that knows big truck wrecks. Big truck insurance companies know that we have the knowledge and experience to get you paid everything you deserve. Call the heavy hitter. When I call the insurance companies, they listen. Hit by a big truck, I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
Hi, I'm Catherine Fortner, and we just finished building this dream deck for one of our best customers. And we get everything we need from Par. With Shauna's help.
Everything from design to delivery.
Par, go where the builders go.
What are you gonna build?
When it comes to your health, timing is everything. Health First Urgent Care is your reliable healthcare solution, locally owned and operated, providing care to our community. With locations in Pasco and Richland, we're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. No need to wait in long lines or rush to the ER for minor concerns. At Health First Urgent Care, we've got you covered with on-site x-rays and short wait times. Your health is our priority. Walk-ins are welcome. You can get the care you need when you need it. Health First Urgent Care, because your well-being comes first.
Tiffany Smiley is not who she says she is.
Tiffany Smiley started a PAC claiming to raise money to support conservative candidates, but contributions were funneled to pay off her own $1 million campaign debt.
Of the almost $800,000 she raised, only $24,800 went to candidates. Instead, Tiffany used the money on luxury travel and to try to pay off her massive debt.
Tiffany Smiley deceived her donors. Don't let her deceive you.
I'm Dan Newhouse, and I approve this message.
This is Rhonda. She's a soul line dance instructor. And this is Rhonda's Good Feet story.
I love dancing, but I had foot pain and hated the fact that I had to sit out a couple dances. But since visiting the Good Feet store and wearing the arch supports, I definitely have not felt the pain. I am able to dance longer, feel happier. My energy levels have increased. Once that energy gets into you and you're feeling good, double spins.
Get back out there with arch supports from the Good Feet store.
Summer in our area usually means great weather, but every so often a storm moves in.
Count on Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather to warn you in advance of coming storms.
Stacey Lee Evening, Josh Colbert Mornings, Apple Valley News Now. First Alert Weather on your side.
Whitman Hill Winery is proud to support Apple Valley News Now's Restaurant Showdown.
64 restaurants, 4 regions, 1 champion. The Restaurant Showdown starts Friday from STCU, Les Schwab Tires, and Whitman Hill Winery.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Each summer, we hear about children tragically losing their lives after being left or becoming trapped in a hot car. On average, there are about 40 hot car deaths among U.S. children per year, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
ABC's Perry Russum has tips from an auto safety expert on how to prevent this type of tragedy.
It's easy to think it couldn't happen to you.
We all think that, we would never forget our children with us. And as precious as they are to us, for our brains, we go into autopilot mode.
It's an unfortunate reality that children die of heat stroke in hot cars. Dr. Emily Thomas, manager of auto safety at Consumer Reports, says even when it's not that hot outside, temperatures inside a car can rise to a dangerous level.
We did testing on a 60-degree day, and within 1 hour, the inside of the vehicle got to be over 100 degrees.
The heat poses a greater risk for children. Their bodies heat up 3 to 5 times faster than adults, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics. Dr. Thomas says parking in the shade or cracking a window is not enough. And although some newer vehicles have alerts to remind you to check the back seat, Dr. Thomas says oftentimes the tech does not directly sense for a rear passenger, so it's important not to rely on these systems.
Oftentimes, these cases occur when there is a change in routine. Parents or caregivers are sleep deprived and they're stressed, which is very typical. And so we really encourage caregivers to do a few different things to help make it part of your routine.
Even when your child is not traveling with you, Dr. Thomas suggests keeping something of yours in the back seat.
Whether it's your jacket or your purse, a laptop bag, something of yours that at the end of the trip you have to go to the back seat to go retrieve. Then when your child is with you, it's already part of your brain's memory and part of your habit to do so. And so you will check the back seat at the end of the trip.
And when your child is with you, put something of theirs on the front seat, like a stuffed animal or sippy cup.
It provides your brain with a visual trigger that will tell you to check the back seat because your child is with you.
And if you don't have children, Dr. Thomas says you can be a good neighbor.
You can keep your vehicles at home always locked and the keys out of reach so that children in your neighborhood cannot access vehicles and get trapped inside.
Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
If you see a child alone in a car in the heat, call 911 to help get them out. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, it's going to be another hot day with the high of 110 in the Tri-Cities.
Oof, and Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth tells us more about how our weather is looking. We'll have that when we come back.
Indulge in Legends Casino's seafood buffet experience. Discover a feast of premium crab legs, succulent shrimp, and an array of delectable ocean-inspired dishes. Elevate your evenings with Legends Seafood Buffet every Thursday and Saturday starting at 4 p.m.
So what do you think about these?
We're going to take everything.
From design and products to removal and installation, Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,000 off your complete bathroom remodel.
I help women with health issues, things like birth control, prenatal care, any GYN issue, and I really enjoy that. I love being a midwife. We try to personalize the care for each patient and individualize it. It's not one size fits all. Everybody has their own individual care plan.
Save now with Bi-Mart's latest savings book, including summer stock reduction savings. Save on a dozen ball canning jars, regular mouth $11.99, wide mouth jars are $13.99. Save on Blazer brass 9mm ammo. A 50-count box is just $11.99. Plus save $50 on an Avanti 5 cubic foot chest freezer, hot priced at $139.99. Save now with store-wide savings of up to 50% off during our summer stock reduction sale, only at Bi-Mart.
Join us Saturday, July 20th in historic downtown Prosser for the 20th annual Prosser Art Walk and Wine Gala. Sip award-winning wines and craft beer while strolling creations from artisans throughout the Pacific Northwest. Enjoy live music and a variety of food trucks for an evening not to be missed. Tickets are just $20 and on sale now at tourprosser.com/artwalk.
Warning, your air conditioner unit needs service. Would you like me to call Bruce?
Yes, call Bruce.
Thanks to today's modern technology, it's never been easier to call Bruce Heating and Air. When your AC unit needs serviced, call Bruce.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get this party started.
Just make sure you call the right Bruce.
Now through September 30th, receive rebates up to $1,850 off on a new Daikin Fit system when you finance through Bruce Heating and Air. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Attention all Hanford and PNNL workers and contractors. Join United Energy Workers Healthcare for a free lunch and learn resource fair on Friday, July 19th at the Three Rivers Convention Center in Kennewick from 11 to 2 p.m. You may qualify for additional healthcare benefits and financial compensation. Learn more at our free lunch and learn resource fair on Friday, July 19th at the Three Rivers Convention Center in Kennewick from 11 to 2 p.m.
This newscast sponsored by Mariano Morales Law. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Right now you're taking a live look at the Columbia River. You can see some haze up in the sky for this morning. It's going to be very light. We're thinking a lot of it is going to move out of the area by the time we get to the PM hours. Right now, it's sort of feeling like some PM hour kind of weather, especially in Walla Walla, 80 degrees as it's 6:47 in the morning. We're seeing a mixture of 60s and 70s for the Kittitas and Yakima Valley, 60s and 70s for the lower Columbia Basin, and again, 60s, 70s, and 80s for the foothills of the Blues. A little bit later today, we're going to find our highs back around values at about 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. That means triple digits for the Kittitas and Yakima valleys, right around 110 again for the lower Columbia Basin, more specifically for the Tri-Cities, and then 90s in triple digits for the foothills of the Blues. Now, the difference in today and yesterday is that yesterday had light winds. Today, the winds are going to be very gusty, gusting out of the west and northwest between 20 to 45 miles per hour, some of the strongest wind gusts being in the Kittitas Valley. And that spells trouble because the fire fuels there are very energized. Here's the fire fuel energy in terms of historical percentiles up into the 99th percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties. So theoretically, fires could start and spread very rapidly for today. It's the same thing for the lower Columbia Basin. Fire fuel energy maxed out for today and almost maxed out for the Blue Mountains as will end up being up into the 97th percentile. Now for tonight, the winds will not really calm down all that much as they'll still gust between 20 to 40 miles per hour, but the temperatures will cool off just a little bit, but still pretty mild with 60s across the map, and skies should be clear. Into tomorrow, we'll see a substantially cooler day, but not cool as we're going to be above 100 degrees again in the Tri-Cities, and looks like temperatures are going to hold pretty steady after that, at least through Tuesday. And given that we'll have a prolonged stretch of more hot weather, that means that our fuels are going to be very dry. So even though we're going with a first alert extreme impact fire day for today, that's going to get extended into tomorrow and Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And just to really underscore that point, here's tomorrow's fire fuel energy, also in terms of historical percentiles. Back in the 99th percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties. The same thing with the lower Columbia Basin, and now even the Blues getting into the 99th percentile. And the Blues are going to continue to be this dry into next week, which is very concerning given that there is that little chance of lightning, especially in the Blue Mountains for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So we'll watch for that particular aspect of fire starts as well. Here is the 7-day forecast for the Cascades. Today's going to be our last day in the 80s, and then we'll have plenty of 70s for Thursday and beyond. For the Kittitas Valley, a very dangerous fire setup for today, given the fire fuel energy and the winds. For the Yakima Valley, we'll be near 105 for today, and then we'll be around 100 degrees from Thursday through Tuesday. For the lower Columbia Basin, it looks like 7 more days of triple digits. And then for the foothills of the Blues, today's going to be our last day of the triple digits, and then down into the 90s for Thursday through Tuesday. Then for the Blue Mountains, again tracking that little lightning chance, that potential for lightning-induced fire starts for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Thank you, Josh. Well, in consumer news, first of all, I want to ask you, Jessica, when was the last time you wrote a check?
I never did. My mom would write checks when I was younger, yeah, but I never did. I would just watch her do it and see her signature.
All right. Well, starting next week, Target will no longer accept personal checks.
Oh man, just kidding.
Can't do it.
Well, the company says since most people aren't writing checks anymore, they're going to switch to only accepting other forms of payment. So things like cash, credit and debit cards, and/or virtual options like Apple Pay. And that change is officially starting on July 15th.
Boeing reports it ended the first half of the year with gross sales down 70% from a year ago. The aerospace giant said it sold just 14 new jets in the past month, with most of those freighters. But it still marked one of its best sales months of the year. Only 4 aircrafts were sold in May and just 7 in April.
The June sales are down a whopping 95% from the 304 gross orders it took in June 2023. Boeing sales have fallen sharply since the 737 MAX door plug blew out mid-flight back in January. Airlines eager to expand their fleets are holding off on purchases while Boeing works through a myriad of problems. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the morning sprint and a final check on your forecast.
First, a look at what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, tourist backlash. This weekend in Barcelona, locals using water guns to spray visitors. Thousands in the streets taking a stand against tourism, which they say results in a higher cost of living for residents.
It's one of the most popular destinations in the world to visit, but also, look, a small compact city with a lot of locals who have a range of views on the number of folks who have been visiting.
In Greece, the city of Athens studying limits on tourist capacity because of the rapid demand. Cities like Venice and and Barcelona adding fees for tourists.
And that going to fund the sort of sustainable tourism, both to limit the crowds and to be able to put in place infrastructure to make it better for everybody.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have what you need to know before you book that next trip. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Finish Ultimate, engineered for the toughest conditions. Dry burnt-on stains, old dishwashers, very hard water. Finish Ultimate with CycleSync technology helps deliver the ultimate clean.
You are bountiful. Your skeleton can support 2 times your weight. It's in your nature to stand strong. Supplement your bones with high-absorption magnesium. Nature's bounty. It's in your nature.
A fan at a track meet spills jelly on her shirt.
I bet Allison doesn't get jelly on her shirt.
Allison on the track.
Bet Noah Lyles doesn't get smoothie on his jersey.
Noah.
Oh, come on. Bet Carl Lewis doesn't get tomato sauce on his jacket.
Carl.
Dang it.
He spills chocolate sauce on his shirt.
Stains happen to the best of us. When they do, Tide's got you covered.
Pasta in Paris? When in Rome.
Noah shrugs.
It's got to be Tide. America's #1 detergent.
P&G.
Now, the morning sprint.
Welcome back. Time right now is 6:54.
We're going to get to your first alert forecast in a moment, but we begin with a look at this morning's top stories.
Starting off, the fire danger is extremely high right now. So take a look at this. Firefighters from multiple agencies raced to help deal with this fire along I-82 near Prosser yesterday afternoon.
The fire was first reported around 1:30 and our crews saw air support fly in a couple of hours later. State Patrol did have to close down part of the interstate from time to time because of the smoke and to give firefighters room to work.
And some Sunnyside residents were asked to leave their homes last night when a fire broke out at XL Dairy Service. The Grandview Fire Department spent the evening assisting Sunnyside firefighters with putting out the commercial structure fire. People in the area north of the business were asked to evacuate their homes, but were later allowed to return.
At least 2 houses were destroyed by fire on the 4th of July in the Tri-Cities and Yakima areas. One of those fires happened on Melody Lane in Pasco. The Lopez family operates the fireworks stand at Edison and Clearwater in Kennewick. And on the night of the 4th, the family was helping close the stand when they got a call from Pasco Fire Department that their house was on fire and hardly anything was salvageable. No one was hurt in the Pasco fire, as for a cause, it is still unknown.
The city of Ellensburg has been working on a plan to build an overnight shelter they're calling a sleep center for people experiencing homelessness. But progress is slow going. Experts picked the site of Hope Source's Incoming Pathways affordable housing project on Ruby Street. Nearby business owners and parents of children of a local daycare pushed back, and Hope Source asked the city in a letter to remove its site from the shortlist. There are still 4 possible locations, but the city is now looking for a short-term fix.
Well, it is important to give yourself a break from the extreme heat we're seeing across the region this week. One option is the library. Mid-Columbia Libraries offers a space for those who are looking for a place to cool down. The associate director with Mid-Columbia Libraries says anyone is allowed to go in and take a break from the heat anytime the libraries are open. Libraries will serve as cooling centers for the duration of the summer.
And now we'll check in with Josh for a final look at your first alert forecast this morning. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Jessica. It is going to be a hot one out there for today. I think that's underscored by the fact that we're already at 81 for Ellensburg, 82 for Walla Walla, and we haven't even reached 7 o'clock in the morning yet. 69 for Tri-City, 64 for Sunnyside. So already feeling comfortable / mild / warm out there, depending on your microclimate. A little bit later today, it's going to be another hot one, up around 110 again in the Tri-Cities, so we'll be about 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. If you're going to be taking the pets on a walk today, the earlier the better. Try to do that in the morning. And of course, if the kids are going to be outside for today, be sure that you're supplying them with plenty of water. If you're going to be working outside for today, find shade. Also supply yourself with plenty of water and check on those vulnerable populations, especially the elderly. And then in terms of the fire impacts, we have a first alert extreme impact fire day. I think the main takeaway is just use the gray matter between your ears.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you for waking up with us and watching Good Morning Northwest. GMA is next.
Your local news is back tonight at 5, and you can always find the latest updates on our website, applevalleyNewsNow.com.
Have a wonderful Wednesday.